Guys, today is going to be a little bit of a shorter one because a friend gifted me a book about brand and business strategy. And in this book, it accidentally explained to me why therapy works. So I was recently gifted Build Your Story Brand by Donald Miller by one of my very good friends, Dr. Larry Burchett. Hi, Larry. I know you listen. Thanks. 10/10. Highly recommend this book. It was incredible. And as I was reading this book and starting to do some of the assignments that they have in the book, it made me realize one of the reasons why therapy works. Hey there, welcome to Get Messy. This is a mindset space for creatives who are looking to build sustainable and successful careers without losing their sanity. I'm Maddie. I've been a professional performer of over a decade. I'm currently in grad school to become a therapist, and I'm the friend who is never going to BS you about what it takes to actually stay in the game. So the book talks about how we all want to be the hero of our own story. And this book, again, is written for business owners. So if you own a business, we often try to position ourselves or like the business as the hero. And it's why our messaging can sometimes miss the mark because everyone is the hero of their own story. And the business or like you, whatever you're trying to sell, is the guide to helping the hero on their quest to solve the problem that they're facing. So again, whether you're like a personal brand, like let's say you're a coach and you're selling a service, like you are the guide, the person is the hero of their own story. I mean, this literally could work for any type of business. It's like whenever the business is trying to position them as the hero to the problem, rather than no, the person is the hero in their own story and the hero of their life. You as the business are the guide, but they're the hero on the quest of the journey. And you are a part of what helps them on their quest, helps them face this problem that they're facing. Therapy is a space that allows us to be the hero of our own story. It's the only one-sided relationship we have in our lives, and it should be the only one-sided relationship that we have in our lives where we get to come into a space with our faults and be in a place fully dedicated to our personal survival and our personal thriving as a human. We get to address the problems that we have. We get to talk about the goals and desires that we're not currently reaching, but we have like a deep desire to reach. We get to work on being less anxious or feeling more confident speaking up at work, or if we want to work on feeling more emotionally connected to our partner or overcoming grief of losing an opportunity, like whatever problem that we're facing or behavior we want to change or changing the way we want to feel, we have space to address the obstacles standing in our way of achieving the things we want to achieve in therapy. And whether these obstacles are internal or external, there's a space for us to like work through that and have a process for that in therapy. And in therapy, we start devising a plan to start addressing the problem and taking action towards our goals. We are the hero. We're at times a faulty hero, but we are a hero. No one said it has to be a perfect hero. Most heroes are not perfect. If we like look at any popular movie, a lot of the heroes have faults, but we are a hero nonetheless. And the book uses an example of like if we go into a big room, let's say like a big conference room, right, at a hotel or like a movie theater, something like that. We don't count how many chairs are in the room. We look for the exit signs because that's aiding us in our survival. So if we survive, we later have an opportunity to thrive. So first, if I know where the exit signs are now, I can count the chairs. But like I'm not going to be counting the chairs. I'm looking for the exit signs because if I know I can help aid in my survival, I have the potential and possibility to thrive. So our bodies will always be focused on survival first. And we have to be aware of that because if we aren't aware of the ways in which our nervous system is trying to help us survive, we don't even have the potential to thrive. And I feel like sometimes we focus so much on the thriving and so much on going towards the things that we want, we don't even realize how our body can be one of the obstacles in us getting there because we're not taking into consideration how our body's trying to prime us for survival. So therapy is like a version of looking for those exit signs. It's helping us tackle the biggest things on our heart and in our minds and the things that are those obstacles causing our nervous systems to be severely disrupted, which again, that nervous system disruption is there because that's aiding in our ability for us to feel like we're surviving as a human. It's trying to help us feel safe. It's trying to help us feel seen and feel heard. So therapy helps us look for those different exit signs, like helps with that nervous system regulation, helps with us analyzing our behaviors, helps with all that so that we then can be like, okay, great. What is the plan to work towards thriving now that we've gotten to baseline, so to speak? And we have the time and the space in therapy to really unpack all of the obstacles and why they're so potent and potentially so disruptive, and actually lean into the feelings we experience when we face these obstacles and find the meaning behind why. And then on top of it, like we all have these goals in our lives or this vision that we have for ourselves. And in therapy, we also get to unpack the why behind that. Why are these goals so important to us? Why is the going after this vision or trying to achieve the type of thriving that we're trying to achieve so important? Why does it feel like, I'll give a couple examples, like vital to have a better relationship with our mom or to design a different audition ritual so we move from a place of fear to excitement, or learn how to start letting go of the things we can't control so they don't impact us so much and we can like deal with, like, especially in a creative career, there's so much out of our control. So it's like, how can we accept that there's so much out of our control rather than try to like contain that part of our creative career or change that part of our creative career? If we're working on be more open and more vulnerable with our partner and say the thing that we really want to say. So therapy helps us do all of that so that once we're back to baseline, then it helps us also construct a plan towards those goals and towards thriving. And we know a hero's journey has defeats, it has pivots, it has wrong turns, or sometimes the hero is the one who's made the major mistake that they need to recover from. The hero is not perfect, but a hero always has the ability to move forward. There's always possibility for redemption and winning that next battle. So my take is that therapy is one of the places where you are instantly put into the role of the hero in your own hero's journey. And the focus is on your wants, your needs, your obstacles, your behaviors. And you have the undivided support about how to tackle the important things and get where you want to go. So obviously I love therapy, going to school to become a therapist. So just as I was reading this book, I was like, whoa, this is, I think, why so many people can find therapy so effective in their lives and they can find so much growth. And it's because it's like, even in any sort of person we're hiring or service that we're using or thing that we're buying, it's all to aid us really in our hero's journey. So much of our motivation comes from like the fact that we do think of ourselves as like the hero of our own story, and we are on that hero's journey, and we connect to people and brands and businesses that position themselves like that. And then I was like, wow, therapy fundamentally at its core is putting us in the role of the hero and the hero's journey, and the therapist is simply the guide to help us on our journey, but they are not giving us this grand golden thing that's going to change everything. Like, it's up to us to do the work and it's up to us to show up, but they do help guide parts and elements of our journey. And that journey, this hero's journey, is essentially really the most important thing at its core to a lot of us. So that's my little teeny food for thought. If you have not read this book, whether you own a business or you don't, it is such a good book. And it really helps you just gain clarity on even just sharing your own story or talking to people about the things that are important to you. So the book, again, is Build Your Story Brand by Donald Miller. And thank you, Dr. Larry Burchett, for giving it to me. It's made a major impact. And yeah, that's it for today. I'm rooting for you today and always. You're the real hero if you've made it this far. Thanks so much for hanging out today, and check out the show notes for any resources or cool info mentioned in today's episode, or places to follow along if you want to hang out some more. I'm rooting for you today and always. Stay messy.